Welcome to Tilt Shift. I'm Brian.
And I'm Tim.
And today we were reviewing a movie called Passengers. And so a very interesting movie, a lot of interesting plot lines in this movie. It's a 2016 sci-fi thriller, kind of romance too, at least somewhat.
If you can call that romance,
Okay,
we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, and so they're in there. And the basic theme.
And they're about the only two actors. I mean, there are a couple other people that show up for a little bit, but
not very long.
Right.
And the basic plot of the movie is you have this ship that's out in space trying to make its way to a destination. And there are 5,000 people on this ship. And they're put in hibernation mode, basically. Right? And
I think it's 5,000 passengers and like 200 and some crew.
Yeah, to run the ship. There you go. And so they're supposed to stay asleep, and they're not aging during this time because they're in hibernation mode. And then they'll wake up about a few weeks before they get there.
4 months, I think.
Yeah, and they'll wake up and they'll get ready. They'll be on this new planet, and there's all sorts of themes related to that. But basically, in this movie, Chris Pratt's hibernation pod malfunctions.
Like 30 years into the voyage.
Yeah, because they hit some asteroid field. It kind of messes with the ship as well. That's part of the plot as well. But his pod wakes him up, and so he's on this ship awake by himself. And they still have 90 years to get to their destination.
So he knows he's never going to make it there to where he wants to go because he can't put himself back to sleep. There's no way to.
Yeah, there's no way to do that. He tries, he can't do it. And so he has to deal with all these themes of loneliness and these dealings with the temptation for suicide and stuff like that. So a lot of themes in the movie, some good stuff to talk about for the show. That's why I wanted to pull it in. But it is PG-13, and it definitely earns that rating to the max. And so it's PG-13 for sexuality, nudity, action, and peril that's faced during the movie. And so it definitely pushes the boundaries of some of that, so be aware of that.
Yeah, I would say it should be like PG-13.999 or something.
As far as
it's about as far as you can go without it being R. So very strong warning in that area. Chris Pratt's backside is seen in a couple of shots in that, but there's also more. There's like this 3-minute segment, somewhere in the middle of the film.
That you can totally skip.
You can skip those 3 minutes starting at like 55 and a half.
We know they like each other. That's fine. Move on with the plot. And so, but yeah, it's
and you had talked about it before. It's not just that there's it's sensual as well. So just
strong warning, very strong
warning there.
And skip it if you can. You won't miss anything.
So we talked about the plot a little bit. Jim, that's Chris Pratt's character, wakes up 90 years early, and for a little while, I mean, this is like think of like this big ocean liner with even though they're out in space, but it's this luxury cruise kind of thing. So he's got all sorts of things that can
fun amenities he can do.
He can eat he can't really eat what he wants because he's got like the lower class.
They have different passes you can buy.
He just gets like this little dry muffin or whatever. But everything else, he can go to the game room.
For the rest of your life. That'd be awful.
He can go wherever. In fact, there's deleted scenes where he goes into the one of the bars that's there, and he says, "I want you to make me something different every single night." And after like 1,300 or something like that, he's like, "You've tried everything." So if that's deleted.
That's so sad, yeah.
So he tries every way to break into the bridge and figure out a way to get back to sleep. Can't. And
he's stuck.
So you talked about before we contemplated suicide and
it's hard when we're just talking about right now. It's kind of hard to really understand the weight of the emotion behind it. But when you put yourself in his shoes, he's on this ship and he realizes he will never see anybody again. He's going to be alone for the rest of his life.
You might see them sleeping.
I was just watching you sleep. You look like you're having a crazy dream.
You can look at him, right? But that's it.
No interaction.
And how that messes with you. We'll come back to that.
If you think about like Castaway, Tom Hanks, he's on this island by himself.
It's like a space version of that to one degree.
Sort of, but at least this one, he had Wilson, the volleyball. But he at least had the hope of being picked up.
True.
Jim has no hope of living another 90 years because he's already, in his 30s or so at that point. So he's not going to make it there, and he knows that. And so
in his first clip, this is where he's going to find that out, basically.
That's right.
We'll jump ahead a little bit, but he's going to find that out.
Yeah, when they wake up, you get this little video message, "Hey, we're 4 months away," and so his pod is just doing what it's supposed to do at that point, or all the stuff. And he starts to realize something's a little bit off. And so we're going to see him enter the observatory, and that's when he kind of realizes it's really wrong.
Welcome to the observatory. What can I show you?
We're supposed to land soon. I'm the only one awake.
I don't understand. What can I show you?
Show me Homestead 2.
Homestead 2 is the 4th planet in the Bhakti system.
Right? And where are we?
We're in transit from Earth to Homestead 2. We will arrive in approximately 90 years.
What?
We arrive at Homestead 2 in 90 years, 3 weeks, and 1 day.
Wait, how long ago did we leave Earth?
Approximately 30 years ago.
I woke up too soon.
And so he goes to the this board and tries to send a message back to Earth. And he's like, oh, good, sent. Okay, it'll arrive in 25 years, or there, and then it's going to bounce back, and they're going to be further along. So it's like 55 years till he gets a response from Earth.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is cool in this movie, it's a beautiful film in terms of like the ship design is really cool. The interior of the ship, everything is pretty unique, and so visually it's pretty stunning.
Seeing space,
yeah,
it's the way they show space,
just
and
the
graphics
grandeur.
there. Oh yeah,
you get to see that, and it's similar to like Psalm 8, 3 and 4. When I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the son of man that you care for him? And that's it's interesting when you think of that. When you look at the vastness of space, there's two different ways to really look at that. Like a lot of times the skeptical say like, space is so big. We live on this, like it was Carl Sagan thing, like the little tiny pale blue dot in this insignificant speck in an insignificant part of the universe. We're nothing special.
Good pep talk.
Yeah.
Or you can say, look at how grand and vast everything is that God has made, and we are the special place.
Yeah.
This is where he created man in his image. This is where he sent his son to die on the cross and rise from the dead. This is where God's focus is.
It is.
And so it's two different ways of looking at the same thing, and you got to have the right perspective.
Think about on day 4, creation week, it says that God made the sun, the moon, and the stars for signs and for seasons. In a sense, they're a really big clock. Yeah. And I mean, that's how awesome our God is, that all of this shows his
what day did it all
grandeur.
wind up, Brian? What did you
and so it really is amazing. Now, of course, in the movie, they are suggesting there are other habitable planets, and they're trying to make their way there and make a new life there. But we don't know if there are other planets that people could actually live on. And of course, from the secular perspective, they would argue in the evolutionary sense, well, life evolved here by accident, so surely life could evolve somewhere else by accident. There got to be other planets where people could possibly live, and they're thinking about trying to find those. But from a biblical perspective, the Bible does say that the earth is unique. In Isaiah 45:18, it says that God made the earth to be inhabited, and where he put his image bearers. And as you mentioned before, where God comes as in the flesh and lives the perfect life, dies on the cross. This is the center stage for God's activity, for his glory. So it's a very unique place, biblically speaking.